I was told that the riots in Iran last December were about the people rising up against the Ayatollah's regime. If that's the case, then what is Scott Bessent talking about here?
What do you want to say about sanctions, something else you've been working on, of course? What are you planning there in terms of Iran and the impact there? Do sanctions actually work?
Okay, so two things there. There are Treasury sanctions. And if you look at a speech that I gave at the Economic Club of New York last March, I said that I believe the Iranian currency was on the verge of collapse, that if I were an Iranian citizen, I would take my money out. President Trump ordered Treasury and our OFAC division, Office of Foreign Asset Control, to put maximum pressure on Iran, and it's worked. Because in December, their economy collapsed. We saw a major bank go under. The central bank has started to print money. There is a dollar shortage. They are not able to get imports. And this is why the people took to the street. So this is economic statecraft. No shots fired. And things are moving in a very positive way here.
Could it be a combination of both the regime and the sanctions? Of course. Were you told that the sanctions were in any way a factor? Of course not. And then you start thinking about, well, wait a minute. They putting up this much of a fight on a depressed, sanctioned economy? What's their military budget? When you look into this, it's insane. Iran's military budget for 2025, and this is after the 12-day war was factored in when they started boosting their spending, was $23.4 billion. Ours was $1 trillion. They're doing this on 2% of our budget. Look, 2% of our budget, that is 1/50th of what we're spending. They are laying us out and dragging us into oblivion. What are we paying the Pentagon for? They ain't passed an audit in years. Private military contractors who build our military equipment are out here charging the government $12,000 per screwdriver. In the meantime, they are getting rich off the government dime. Talk about welfare queens. And Iran was like, we ain't gonna do none of that. We ain't gonna get no aircraft carriers, no jets, no nothing. What we got for y'all is missiles. We got missiles upon missiles and drones to distract y'all's missiles so that we can hit y'all with bigger missiles. Do y'all know that we ain't really got a hypersonic inventory at all? And that's all they got left? Iran was like, you got an Iron Dome? Missile. You wanna have some bases around? Missile. Y'all wanna have a THAAD radar system? Missile. Do you hear me when I tell y'all that every military analyst worth their salt say Iran ain't even shot the good stuff that they got yet? And if they should run low on that, guess who they are letting through the Strait of Hormuz? China, who has a manufacturing capacity to manufacture as many missiles per day as we do per year. Turns out we don't have the strongest military on the planet, just the most expensive. And if we continue to take out Iran's top leadership with our military equipment, guess what? All of that rising up against their government that we thought was going to happen is only going to lead to deeper solidarity within the warring factions in Iran. They not going to flip sides now because we done blown up their babies. And it's our sanctions that actually had them in the streets in the first place. Now check this out, right? Because we killed the Ayatollah, right? And now his son is in charge. His son is the most determined enemy America has had since Osama bin Laden, with an arsenal and leverage that bin Laden could never dream of. Bin Laden never had hypersonic arsenals, never at his disposal. Bin Laden never could close down the Strait of Hormuz. Bin Laden was never able to strike all of our Gulf allies in one single. Do you know that they just took out our forward military depots? That's the places where we store armories so that we don't have to ship it all across the oceans. We just have access to it right there in the bases. They knocked out 11 of our storage sites in 47 minutes with missiles. And Max Blumenthal just reported on the fact that there was a contingent around Trump that knew that they could manipulate him into war when they couldn't manipulate other presidents into war with Iran. They tried to make it seem like every single assassination attempt on Trump was from Iran, even though it wasn't. They just told him that it was, meaning Trump wasn't bright enough to freaking see through the plot. And now he done knocked over the world. And now power is starting to shift in a way that we could never dream of. I want y'all to think about this. Everything that you think of as entrenched wealth and leverage could be turned on its head within a month. The world order is rewriting itself. We have never seen an American president lend so much leverage to our enemies. At this point, Canada messing with BRICS. At this point, Africa's like, we don't want nothing to do with the West. At this point, you have a situation on your hands where the very backing of the Israel lobby, Israel itself, may not exist because the missiles that Iran has can literally topple everything. We literally have the worst FAFO story in history. And the thing that sucks the most about this house of cards finally falling is the fact that we are sitting here as Americans right inside of it.